Good evening, everyone. It's another Monday, and we are here talking about you today with Vikky Gadd from Crystal Therapy. And I thought it will be absolutely amazing to invite her over to tell us a little bit about crystals as our friends, how they can help us with mindset and how to work with them. And also we'll be exploring questions, do you need to believe in them? So hello, I'm Sonka. I'm your intuitive life coach, NLP practitioner and nutritional therapist, and leader of Women's Business Club in Macclesfield now. So good evening, or if you're watching on replay, let us know. Hello, Vikky. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I know you had a very busy weekend.
That's fine.
With your sale and everything, but it's amazing that it's going great for you. So if you don't mind, just to tell us quickly, or not quickly, depends how you feel about you to start with before we got into your story and magic crystals.
Of course, yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. So thank you for having me on, Sonka. That's really kind of you. I know that I don't know how long I've known you now. I think it was probably a year or so ago when you wanted a candle. I think that was the first time we met, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice. Something like that. I asked her, does anybody know who sells really clean candles? And friend of mine, I think it was Fiona. Yeah, Vikky.
Oh, no, that was lovely. And you, because you live near me as well, that's so nice.
Yes,
really yes. So, yeah, I'm Vikky Gadd, and I am a crystal energy therapist, and I've been teaching as well. I do courses on my crystal energy therapy, but also when we're allowed, when we come out of COVID and all of our restrictions, I've worked for the past 20 years as a crystal energy therapist, seeing helping beautiful clients on their journey, trying to assisting them trying to get themselves back to who they were always meant to be before life kind of left its mark, using crystals as the most amazing tool. So I feel very honoured, very grateful to have this beautiful job and gift that I can share with so many people. And even though I've not been able to do it as much with lockdown, one of my biggest passions has just recently taken off, and the last year was opening up my online crystal shop with all of our gift sets and my handmade jewelry and my candles. So that's just been the most exciting thing in the world, because and that's what we just did last Saturday, just gone a crystal live sale with all of my bracelets that I make. So yeah, it's just my biggest passion in the whole wide world is to get crystals into everybody's lives, absolutely everybody. And if I can sneak crystals into candles, my eye pillows, my jewelry, my gift sets, then
also your amazing chakra sets, they're so beautiful.
I just get so many questions, and lots of people, because crystals are a big thing now, aren't they? So popular. They're blown up on the internet, and even the Kardashians wanted them, so they went bigger and bigger, didn't they? I know that big shops, like expensive shoe shops, have big massive crystals in there, which they're just there as an ornament. And I feel really sorry for the crystal, because I think
they don't do what they're supposed to be doing.
No, it's just put there and it's just left, so people
what they are supposed to be doing, Vikky, what is it? What's their destiny for us? And do you actually know how we got about using crystals? I know we do. I probably surprised you with this question. It just came to my mind where it all started.
Well, it's a really good question, actually, because crystals are over 400 billion years old. So it's a really long time ago, crystals.
Lots of wisdom there.
Yeah, loads of wisdom. And have you heard of Atlantis, the lost cities of Atlantis?
Yes,
that's the first recorded times of when they used crystal.
Wow.
They even said that the pyramids in Egypt, they say that on the very top of the pyramid used to be clear quartz point, and capped with gold, because that conducts the energy, because clear quartz is a real it's the master, and it manifests energy. So if you're getting energy pouring down and the shape of that beautiful pyramid and all of the energy, and then it charges up and goes into the crystal tip. Can you just be like a lighthouse? Can you imagine that pouring out?
Oh, hang on.
Absolutely, I know, and that's why. And it's a shame because it must have been an absolutely huge piece of quartz that was
Must
on the
have
top.
been.
And quartz is a
Wow.
conductor, so it conducts energy. So it would have been just generating energy out to all the cities around. So that's been proved that quartz was there. Then the Atlanteans in the cities of Lemurian in Atlantis, which is, they say it's near Greece, like underwater now.
Yeah.
But they used crystals for telepathy. That's how they spoke to each other, like our mobile phones. They
Wow.
used crystal.
I would
They used
prefer
crystal.
that much more.
I know, and much better for the head.
Yes, definitely.
They
And
use
actually, that's
crystals
what we
for
are
all
going to talk
sorts.
about a little bit, isn't it? When you mention heads, that how
Yes.
we can, because there's so many applications, and I'm not trying to pretend I'm expert. I just learned so much from you while you're doing your meditations with us. It's usually on Thursdays, and you give us all this wisdom before we actually go to meditation.
Oh,
So
thank
so
you.
many applications, and there's no one crystal for one thing, or
No.
one thing just crystals do.
Yeah.
It's such a wide spectrum. So today I just wanted to kind of bring it a little bit down, because we usually talk about mindset and clarity and inner wisdom and intuition, and kind of connecting to ourselves. How
Mm-hmm.
important is that? Can we explore on that as well?
What
Obviously,
you
if there are
see?
any more facts, interesting facts about history, I'm happy to hear. But
Well,
just to
there's
give kind
loads,
of,
there's loads, but then I could
we can
talk to
do
you for
separately
hours.
one on that.
Yeah, that, but I know that this is the subject about your mindset and the clarity. And you're absolutely right. And that's why it's so overwhelming for so many people that crystals are, they aren't just like rose quartzes for love, even though it's amazing for love, but it is for bringing you back into your soul, for settling, for holding your hand while you're releasing loads of excess negative energy. It fills you with unconditional love. It allows you to love unconditionally. It brings in trust. So it's got so many things, and that's why people get really confused. But what I always say, and it's what I do very personally, I still do it, is when I get a crystal, whether that's whether I've just been and it's come in from a new shipment from
That's
for us, or
beautiful.
whether, I know this is called fairy quartz. It's amazing, isn't
So
it?
sparkly.
Amazing how that can come out of our earth like that. It's called amethyst spirit or fairy quartz. So whenever I get a crystal, I will always spend time with it, even though we've got so much crystal here and I adore every one of my pieces.
I could absolutely
I
live in your shop. One day I
I
just want to
know,
move in.
and I come down here because my shop is part of my treatment room. It's in our cellar, which goes onto the garden, so it's a beautiful space. And I come down here in the mornings and I pick a crystal, which I just look at and think, who wants to come and have a chat with me? Because I do call myself a bit of a crystal whisperer. So I will hold the crystal and just allow it to download. Now, that's me having all my years experience, like 48 years experience of working with crystal. But for on a personal use for yourself or anybody who's not used crystal before, we all have intuition. So many of us kind of give it up and just think, no, I need somebody to tell me what I do and what I do with it. Whereas,
because we are used to reading up about stuff and everything. We used to have a
yeah,
manuals for everything. And,
absolutely, or
we kind
Google,
of
you know,
forget about,
yeah,
don't trust our own intuition anymore, do we?
absolutely. And
Kind of
that's
relearning now.
I know, and that's such a shame, and that's a big energy exchange that happens. So when you get, or if you go into a shop and you can't take your eyes off a crystal, you're just drawn to it, even if it's not a really pretty one. You know, it might be like a dark one. It's not always a very sparkly one. It means that your intuition is going, hello, that's something there you need to work with. And it's not thoughts or it's a feeling, and your intuition, all of your cells in your body, your auric field, you know, your big bubble that goes around you, it's come out, it's been drawn out, and it's started to connect with the energies and the auric field of that crystal. So you've started to merge already. Even if you're kind of looking all around and you're not sure, your energy is merging with that crystal, and then you just keep being pulled to it. Then you'll go and pick it up, and then you're like, ooh,
Yeah,
and then it
I
starts
love that feeling.
connecting even more. And
Sometimes
that's
when I
when you
come to
know
your
what to
shop,
do.
there was one, especially these two. I've got them all here. Sorry, I keep disappearing from the screen. these two.
Yeah.
I remember when I picked them, I was like, I can't put them down.
Yes.
It's like they stayed glued into my hands. It's like I just feel, obviously I could if I wanted to, not kind of a magic way, but it's just a pull to it. It's like I can't put them down because they're just coming with me. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where you're having this amazing energy exchange, because you know, you don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to believe in crystals. Even if you walked into a shop, you went with somebody else because you were just a little bit interested, or you were just going
because
with
they're just pretty.
Yeah, they just thought, oh, I'm going to look at the pretties, and you didn't really think anything about it. You don't have to believe in crystals, because crystals have this, it's quantum physics at the end of the day. They have this vibrating, constant mass of energy that's buzzing around all the time, a really lovely high vibration, very balanced and very consistent. So if you go near a crystal that's all going la 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 la, and your energy might be a bit like the minute you go near it, your energy starts to feel a bit like, oh, la, 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 la. And you're like, oh, because all your atoms and cells are all exchanging with that beautiful crystal energy.
Yeah.
So just even going near it, let alone holding it,
we are already impacted by it.
Yeah.
And I love that you mention it, because many people are drawn to therapies or any kind of tools, depending whether they believe in it or not. But as we know, there's so much energy, quantum physics kind of exchanging between us now, and the science develops around that. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that the belief, the conscious belief, doesn't have to be there, because we are very much consciously driven to things. You have to believe to be able to do or to use something. But it's something like this, full of energy. It's beautiful that whether we like it, whether we believe it, it's still helping us. So what happens to crystals when we are using them? Obviously, we are taking energy from them, or kind of exchanging energy. But if we are in that energy, as you showed, what happened to crystals? Do they pick up on the negative energy, or not quite clean energy? Is this why we need to cleanse them?
Yeah, that's such a great question, because yes, they do have, for instance, where have I got my clear quartz? And I did have some clear quartz. I'm just going to show you this massive piece here. Oh, excuse me a minute.
I like how we both keep disappearing, just reaching for crystal.
We need crystal.
Oh, that's beauty.
Beautiful, and we get the camera right. Beautiful piece of clear quartz there. So if you worked with that, then clear quartz is known as the master. So it's got really high vibration because of its clarity as well. It's got energy goes in, and it's not buffeted by any inclusion. So it's really it conducts. It's very, that's why it's called a master. It's a bit like lavender oil in essential oil therapy. You know, it's like the one you can use with everything.
The one to have.
And when you work with clear quartz, which can have lots of different variations, you can have rose quartz or smoky quartz. The quartz will, its wonderful vibration that's very consistent will start to exchange with yours and break up that. Might be a rigid mindset, it might be negativity, it could be anger, you know, and it starts to break it up a bit and give you a bit more space, clear it away. And one, it does do it by breaking it up, and it just, you start to release that from your body. And two, they do absorb it as well. So, you know, absolutely great question. You then need to take care of your crystals, and because they're like sponges, they absorb energies. So, and that's not just like heavy negative energy. If I just had this sat on my shelf looking pretty all the time, never really picked it up, it would still be emitting light energy and absorbing and changing the molecular energy all around my treatment room. So it would still need some attention. So after so long, it could be a month or it could be a week, depends how much you're using it, you need to put your crystals outside. And I always say to my clients or my customers, try and be reminded by our lovely moon. You know, you see a big full moon in the sky.
Full moon.
Like we've just had a great big super moon, haven't we, in Libra on Sunday? Massive. I couldn't sleep as usual.
Yes, same here.
It affects us, doesn't it?
Usually I'm sleeping better on a full moon, but this weekend it's like, oh,
it's a big super one.
Buzzing.
Very powerful. And I just think, try and use the moon as a guide. You look up and you're like, oh, moon, put my crystals out, because they will get recharged like we do. You know, get that buzzy energy from the pull, the lunar energy. And again, you know, it doesn't mean that you're crazy or you have to be spiritual to believe in the energy from the moon, because at the end of the
Or
day, the
both,
moon,
yeah.
yeah, well, it affects our tides, doesn't it? What makes
Yes,
the sea
yeah.
go in and out? People
That's what
tend
I
to think
say
that the
to
moon is
people. Funny you
nothing.
mentioned that, because if someone said, "Well, I'm not impacted or affected by moon," it's like it moves to the oceans.
Yeah,
It's very silly to think we are not impacted. So we are full of
absolutely.
water by it.
And our
But it's
oceans are
beautiful.
like 80% of our world, aren't they? And we're
Yes,
80% water, and that's where we're affected by the moon
exactly.
energy
And
and
just
our
learn
hormones.
to work with it and kind of trust it.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
was one thing you mentioned about that they are just sitting on the shelf.
yeah.
So does it mean that if someone buys the crystal, they can just have it somewhere in their house, in their room, not necessarily having to
Working with
meditate
it.
with it or work with
Yeah.
it as such? It can be just as a decoration, and it still is doing things. Does it then matter on the size of it? Does it have like its reach, or does it matter whether it's tiny little one or whether
No,
it's really big one?
no. The only
No.
thing I would say, because this isn't huge, but this will give off a huge amount of energy, it's radiation will be massive. It's like a light bulb, and you think about a light bulb and a very clear light bulb, so like 100-watt one. You can't imagine. You think, well, where does that light end? When does it stop giving that glow? And if we could see the glow that comes from crystal, that's exactly the same as a really high wattage light bulb. But the only time you'll need to is when it gets full. So it's sat there absorbing and changing and clearing all of our energy. It'll start to just become full and, I suppose, saturated like a sponge. So that's when it needs to go outside and be in nature again, because
Squeeze.
they're from our earth, so they need to go back outside in the rain, in the snow, in the frost, in the sunshine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You will feel, even if you're not sensitive, when you look at it, you're like, oh, you're sparkly again, and it just looks brighter and then ready to work again.
It's just you feel that cleanse from them, the cleanness of them. And some of my crystals actually prefer sun. Some of my crystals, I can tell, prefer moon. So it's I can tell usually the darker ones are quite happy in the sunshine, except Shanghai. Like, no, I don't want sunshine, thank you very much.
No. No, Shungite likes sage, likes to be cleansed by sage. Or I think Shungite likes water, though. It's really good for
when I put it out in the rain, and I can feel I can feel the difference. It is kind of going, oh.
Now, you see, you said to me earlier you don't think you know much. You see, you do. You don't need to know everything that's in a book, but you intuitively
we just need to trust it. Trust what we feel, and not kind of block it away, and just go with the flow.
And that's right. That is so correct, because we all have it. We all have that. We've all got atoms and cells, and all of those atoms and cells interact with these beauties. And
we are very much carbon. The crystals are carbon, isn't it? So we are really made on scientific point of level. We are made of the same compounds. It's just a different structure, different shape, different function. But actually, we've got very much in common from Earth when it comes to
far more
to compounds. We are all little diamonds, really, aren't we?
Absolutely. We are.
Carbon.
That's so true. Yes. I love that. Shiny diamonds.
Absolutely. Also, what I would like to mention, Vikky, is just remembered, I absolutely love the application with your elixirs. It's such a lovely way to bring crystals into our lives. And I started doing it as soon as you mentioned it first, as soon as I heard you mentioning it first time. And I think it's worth mentioning, because that's really kind of personal application for me.
Oh, that's nice. It is. And it's such a magical way of getting crystal energy into your body, and really cheap as well. It could literally be a £3 tumbled rose quartz that you would then place in a glass of water, and then
just big enough so you don't swallow it.
Well, you can have it in. I like to have mine in a jug, and you've probably seen me drink from my big copper bottle as well, so I'm always drinking with that. But you could have it in a jug, and you just help yourself to it, so you're constantly drinking that water. You can get complicated with it. You could have a big jug and put in rose quartz and have it in front of a windowsill, so it gets 12 hours of moonlight and 12 hours of sunlight, and then it's charged. But that's lovely. That's like a super
advanced level.
Yeah. But that's when people start to go, oh, I forgot, so I'm not doing it. But actually, all you need to do, because crystals just constantly give off, they're always doing this. But it's not just that, it's like bzzz, permanently. So you put that into water, then every one of those atoms and molecules are going to be charged by that crystalline energy. So then when you drink it, all of that beautiful charged crystal water is going into your body. And rose quartz is so lovely because it has a soothing quality. So it can open your heart, it can make you feel calm, it can help you with anxiety, it can help you sleep. Oh, there's so many wonderful things, and that's just a real basic one that you could do.
Yes,
but you know,
I love that. I'm using combination. Usually, it's rose quartz and amethyst. For some reason, I'm drawn to them to have them together. And also, some crystals I can't take to bed with me because they are so buzzy that I can't sleep. Like amethyst is one of them. For me, it's quite a high vibration.
It is,
so I can't. Or citrine.
Yes, that's like
one of them.
Champagne, I think.
Yeah,
it's very fizzy, isn't it?
Yes, it is fizzy. Yeah, and so I'm using those also. I find it when I got a little bit like more speaking or something that day. To use blue lace agate.
Yes,
it's
perfect for your throat chakra.
For a throat chakra.
Yeah.
So and it's very easy application. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm with it constantly. And we also mentioned before, because I asked you, it can go to tea as well. It doesn't have to be just cold water.
Yeah, that's right. I put lots of mine because when we went through the winter, it's hard to drink cold water, isn't it? So I always put mine in my lovely pucker teas, and it's so nice to have it in there. But you have to be careful, you know, obviously it's not replacing medication. And also there are some crystals that you can't put in there. And that's why I made a video, which is on my YouTube. So, you know, we can put a link on there with all of my videos, because I've made so many videos that are out there.
Yes, they are. And I recently just done your chakra meditations. I just had a chakra meditation marathon because I wasn't able to follow you when you were actually doing them live. So then I went back to YouTube, and every day I've done.
Oh, amazing. Because I did that for 7 weeks. That was nice. Yes, I started in January with that, didn't we? So
yes, it was beautiful. But you've got also lots of meditations and lots of advice on your website, which is absolutely packed with information. And also now you started doing, not quite recently, a few months ago, your crystal love letter. If people want to sign up for that, it is really beautiful. It also lots of lovely words and inspiration when it comes to crystals and what to do with them.
It's just to give someone a nice hug. It's nice to get an email that's just full of niceness, isn't it? And I always add a little in what's going on with my life, and then what's happening with the planets or the moon, and how we can, because we're all the same. We all tend to feel the same. And I know so many of you get
differently to different things.
And they're all like, oh, I felt like that, and I thought it was just me, and oh, I'm so glad you've just written that, and oh, that's helped me. I'm going to have rose quartz and sleep with it tonight. And you know, because we're all affected, and lots of people are getting so affected now about coming out of lockdown. You know, that's quite scary. You know, it's like it was quite easy.
Anxiety, isn't it? Because we were locked away from people and everything.
It's coming out again, isn't it? And all of us sensitive empaths are a bit like, ooh.
Yes, I've got to. And some of us empaths and introverts as well. So it's like,
it is scary. So I've just noticed that we sell a anxiety set for children that's got an eye pillow and a bracelet and everything. And it's made me feel really sad because so many, that's gone up, the orders on our website's gone since the kids have gone back to school. So many people have ordered.
At least they've got the tool which they can reach for.
I know, and I just think, oh, bless them, they're suffering, even though I know that there's so many of them desperate and they're loving school, but there's that like fine line, isn't there, between the anxiety as well and the worry and the fear. It's the not knowing, isn't it, still? So it's a little bit scary still.
So when it comes to that, when you know, somebody wants to go for 1 or 2 crystals to help with that clarity, the anxiety, or which one? Obviously, we said the quartz is the master. Is there any others in particular they should go for when they're just starting and trying it on, and obviously not wanting to buy a whole sets?
If you just
is it better to have a crystal or bracelet or pendant, or does it matter?
if you wanted to get the most out of it and use it, and for, you know, to not spend that much money, then I would go for tumbled ones, and I'd go for a clear quartz one and a rose quartz one, and then something grounding, you know, like a tiger's eye or a hematite, a darker one, because the darker ones aren't always as pretty and they're not the sparklies, but they're the ones that, because they have a base vibration, a lower vibration, they draw us down into our soul. So they make us feel safe. They ground us. They root you down because they have that base, like a doo, 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 and they pull you down. And when we're connected and our root chakras spiral down into our earth, then you have that brilliant stable base, like a lovely triangle. And then you feel, actually, just by holding either one piece of tiger's eye or one piece of hematite, that you can stand the world again. You can go outside and you feel stronger, you feel more connected. It also opens up your root chakra, which in turn is like your drain, so you're releasing excess worry, excess negativity. So you could just have a little set, which I've made a little anxiety set that's not that expensive, that has
and they're
rose
beautiful.
quartz, citrine, I think it has
amethyst, isn't it?
For the anxiety set with the Epsom salts, because Epsom salts are so good for releasing. That little set, I think, has tiger's eye, rose quartz, blue lace agate, and clear quartz. So you have them in your bra or your pockets and your ground. So, you know, not expensive, but just so easy to bring that crystal and into your life, which you can then have for meditation, or just make elixirs with, or have them in your pockets, in your bra, under your pillow. You know, there's so many lovely ways.
And how about your amazing necklaces? Would it be something ladies can look into? Sorry, I can't remember what was the black
my black
crystals
obsidian.
you make. Obsidian, was it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
they are beautiful and very protective, aren't they? So
yeah, and I've made I just made some new ones actually with the blue apatite, which are so stunning as well. I know they match the apatite hearts, which are all about self-belief and intuition.
This is apatite, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got the big long apatite necklaces. I've been making those all day today. So
maybe
yes.
need a matching one.
I know. So yeah, but when I first made my black obsidian necklace, which I haven't got on, it's here. I knew I had it with me.
Because
I've got it as a bracelet today. So this is my black obsidian necklace, which you can have. It's almost a meter long. You can have it as a bracelet or a necklace. And I made this at the very beginning of lockdown a year ago, just because I was feeling anxious, and I hadn't made it to go on the website. I just made it for me. And I've put quartz in it here to amplify. Where are we there? And a little charm there.
Yeah.
And whenever I put it on, I could just feel I was in this veil. I felt like I was protected, you know, and I felt safe when I went shopping. And that was before we even had to wear masks or anything, you know, and it was very scary that first time going shopping, and we weren't sure what was happening. Yeah. And then so many people were asking me on my live meditation. So I just started making them for people.
Beautiful.
And so many people have got a lot, because it's tactile. Not only are you wearing it and it's a pretty thing, but you're holding it, you're touching it, because you probably find that with your bracelets as well, Songfa.
Yes, sometimes I'm even sleeping with this one because I just feel like I need that hug.
Yeah, well, that's right. I love it whenever I see any of my clients, even if they're like children, they've got my bracelets. When they're talking to me, they're all doing this.
Yeah.
You know? I think, oh, that's so nice that they're getting that. They don't know it. It's just subconsciously they're doing that to get that energy going up into their hands, and they're absorbing it.
You just need that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. It's very soothing.
Yeah. Really nice.
Oh, fantastic. So let's remind people where they can find you. You obviously are doing therapies at the moment. You do it remotely. So the distant healing as well. So they can find about you on your website. There are plenty of meditation of all sorts, whether you're cutting core, doing chakra cleansing, anything. They're absolutely beautiful, very visual, very creative. I absolutely love them because they're so different to any other meditations.
Thank you.
So
that's how my mind works.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. It's really your trees and walks, bare feet across the fields is absolutely perfect. Yeah. Obviously, you've got your online shop. People can go and buy. You are happy to post it for people. There is postage. Oh, my light just went.
Oh, that's not good.
Good, we've got still daylight,
Yeah,
so it's
which
not
is
lovely.
lovely.
So yeah, so it's your website, it's your shop. They can find on the website. You're doing your meditations on Instagram and
Yeah.
posting beautiful pictures of what you've got in store. So get in touch with Vikky. She's so knowledgeable. Even if you want to do the course for crystal therapy, which I'm very intrigued by in future.
Oh, that's nice. Really lovely.
So she does all that, and only if you just want advice on the crystals. I
Yeah,
know, Vikky, you love talking about crystals
I do.
for hours
Yeah.
and hours and hours. It's such a passion, and
And
it's
I answer
definitely
so many
coming out.
questions. Lots of people ask me questions, private messages on Instagram, and I'm always there to message
Yeah,
people back
definitely.
because people are very confused by it. So I try as much as I can to impart as much knowledge. So there's, yeah, and all that's why I'm so passionate about doing my videos and all those Instagram ones on IGTV, just if I can just get it out there.
Yeah, they
And
can find
help
you on
people.
YouTube as well. There's all the videos in one line,
Yeah.
and I'll post all this under the video, so you can easily find Vikky for whatever you
Oh,
fancy and resonates with you. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. It
oh,
was so
thanks for having me,
helpful.
Sonka. That's really
Oh,
nice. Thank you for inviting me. It's lovely to
oh, of
see
course.
you.
I'm glad we managed, and I'm glad we've done this for people. I'm sure there was so much value. Whether you believe it or not, crystals are always with us, like our friends, aren't we?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Such a nice
Oh,
way of thinking about it. They are. They're all my friends. They're all my pets. I love them.
yes, yeah, yeah. Except they don't need feeding, just cleaning now and
I
then.
know. Yeah, it's really lovely. Much cheaper. They don't need to go to the
Yes,
vets or anything.
exactly. Okay, thank you very much, Vikky. Have a lovely rest of the evening, and I'll
Thank
speak to you
you.
soon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye, Sonka.
Bye.
Thank you.